Good morning, guys. Morning where I'm at. I want to break something down for y'all real quick. Something about an addict. Just by now, I'm sure most of y'all know that I was a full-fledged addict, living on the streets, to actually doing good for myself. Got a good job, home, everything I need, from having nothing, absolutely nothing, but instant gratification. So I get to thinking, what causes a person to want to be an addict? We don't. We don't want to be an addict. But we find ourselves being one, chasing instant gratification. So, where I'm going with this, it's more about why we don't let the addiction go. Okay? Why we don't let the addiction go is because we never grew up. Most of us never had a chance to really be a kid. I don't know if you watched any of my last videos, but if you got kids, or remember, reflect back to, if you can, reflect back to when you were 5. You were supposed to be riding your bike and having fun and playing with your buddies. By that time, I was already a packaging mule for my dad. He used to stick bags of drugs in my pants at 3 and 4. He just always figured the cops wouldn't search the kid. Shove him in his pocket, his pants, his pockets, whatever, his jacket, in his diaper. I'm not saying that to give y'all a sob story. Don't feel sorry for me. I'm good. But I never got to experience childhood. I had to grow up. So with that being said, most addicts probably had a hard childhood, and if they didn't, they're just selfish. And if they didn't, and they had a good childhood and they turned to addiction, it's because they're trying to be a kid. Because all an addict is a kid trapped in an adult's body. They don't know when to grow up. I can tell you that from experience. I didn't know when to grow up. As soon as I started doing good, I'd resort back to my childish ways. The ways of the world. Go back out and play again. It's not, and we know better. I'm not going to sit here and lie. We know better. We know what we're doing to ourselves is wrong, but we're seeking that instant gratification, stuck in that low vibration. And it's the reason that we'll never go nowhere in that lifestyle. What would we do with it? Honestly, what would an addict do if they won the lottery? It's just kind of a thought, you know? Kill themselves, everybody around them, buy a bunch of drugs, life in the fast lane. Look how many celebrities that made it but didn't make it. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure it out. But where I'm going with this is, if you're an addict and you have children, you're a fucking kid trapped in an adult's body who's not handling their responsibilities, when you should be working and taking care of your own damn children. You understand that? Quit being a kid if you got kids and running around on these streets thinking something good's gonna happen. Sit your dumb ass at home. Go to work. Do something with yourself. Try to better yourself. Because all we're doing is passing this on from generation to generation. I know it got passed on to me. Remember what I said. You know, like I said, at 5 years old, I was trying to stab my dad with a kitchen knife because he was beating my mother so bad. It's for him to get off of her instead of out there riding a bicycle with my friends, because he was beating her. She had blood coming out of her mouth. For no reason. For what? Because he was drunk? Because he was an addict? Because he felt like it? I picked that trait up. I went in his life for 5 years. After that, my mom left. So I never had a chance to really be a kid. So I was a kid trapped in an adult body. My stepdad raised me. And he did the best he could. But it couldn't change what I learned the first 5 years of my life. And I lashed out the rest of them. And it cost me dearly. Boy, did it cost me dearly. Not only with the heartache and the headache, the time behind bars, it cost me family after family after family that I lost, that fell apart because of my addictions. Marriage after marriage after marriage, after losing all my kids. So, with that being said, take a look at your life and figure out, when are you going to grow up? When are you going to do what's right? When are you going to try to better yourself and become something instead of living in that gutter? I hope you figure it out soon, because every time you go back to it, it's harder and harder to get out of. I know. Believe me, I know. I know. You know, I reflect back and think about all my friends that are doing 20 years that running out here thinking they were making that, getting that paper, getting that money. Why didn't they get a job? Then their ass wouldn't be sitting there in prison, would they? Why didn't they quit hanging around with all them damn kids that wasn't doing no good for them, but stealing, using, fucking, whatever it was they were doing with them. When they grow up, man, that's some shit some 17, 18-year-olds do. Not 30, 40, and 50-year-olds and beyond. If you're fucking still doing drugs and you ain't got your shit together, the prison's where you deserve to be. I can honestly say that. Especially if you got kids. Because you know what? Although you may have been taking care of them, you may have been trying, you wasn't trying hard enough, motherfucker. You wasn't trying hard enough. Because if you're not there for them to fulfill their needs, and you're letting them know what's going on, like my dad did me, you're a piece of shit. I'm not even going to sit here and lie about nothing. So take a good look at yourself. Look at me from somebody that's lived that life. I was a piece of shit. And it took me some growing up to realize I was wrong. I was just a kid trapped in an adult's body. That's all you are. You're acting like a kid. Y'all like, share, and subscribe. The Truth of Drew.